Mom, can I ask you something that's been on my mind?
Of course, my dear. What's troubling you?
Why do people treat divorce as though it's always the worst decision someone can make? Sometimes it feels like people are judged more for leaving than for what they endured.
That's because many people were raised to believe that staying married at all costs is the greatest sign of strength. They see divorce as failure, instead of asking what pushed someone to that point.
But isn't marriage supposed to be for better or for worse?
It is. Marriage comes with difficult seasons. There will be disagreements, disappointments, financial struggles, sickness, and moments when love has to be a choice rather than a feeling. Those are the storms couples are meant to face.
So where do we draw the line?
The line is when only one person is carrying the marriage while the other keeps breaking it. Marriage requires two willing hearts. One person cannot build while the other keeps tearing everything down.
I know people who have stayed in unhappy marriages for years. Why don't they just leave?
Because leaving is never as simple as people think. Some stay because they love their spouse. Some stay for their children. Others stay because they're financially dependent. Others worry about what the church, family, or society will say.
So they're trapped?
Sometimes by circumstances, sometimes by fear, sometimes by hope.
Do people ever lose themselves by staying too long?
More often than many realize. They stop laughing, they stop dreaming, they begin questioning their own worth. Their confidence disappears little by little. Anxiety replaces peace. They become strangers to themselves.
That's heartbreaking.
It is. The saddest part is that many people don't notice it happening. Every insult, every silent night, every broken promise takes away a little more of who they are.
What if someone says, every marriage has problems?
They're right. Every marriage does have problems, but not every marriage has abuse.
So there's a difference between ordinary struggles and destructive patterns?
Exactly. Healthy couples work through problems together.
Toxic situations repeat the same wounds over and over while expecting the other to endure. So should people ever encourage divorce?
No. Divorce should never be the first solution. But when every reasonable effort has been made and there is no change, choosing peace isn't always failure.
So staying isn't always the strongest choice?
No, my daughter. Sometimes staying requires courage. Sometimes leaving requires even greater courage. Strength isn't measured by how long you remain in pain. It's measured by your willingness to make wise decisions, even when they're difficult.
What would you say to someone who's struggling with this decision?
I tell them not to make decisions out of anger or pressure. Seek wise counsel, pray, reflect honestly. Fight for your marriage, if both people are willing to fight for it.
And what would you say to those who are quick to judge?
Be careful. The marriage you're criticizing may have carried burdens you cannot imagine. Kindness costs nothing, but judgment can deepen someone else's wound.
So the real lesson is,
never glorify divorce, but never glorify silent suffering either. Marriage is worth fighting for, but prolonged harmful situations should not be romanticized.